Well, we got through week two, four practices, practicing Monday, having making up for last Saturday. So we were able to get back on track. I know as far as our progress goes, consecutive days now and full pads, doing a little bit of tackling. So this is, we're kind of that sweet spot where you transition. A lot of the offense, defense is in, allowing guys to continue to make those strides. We haven't tackled a lot. We had a 2nd and 6 drill today that then turned into whatever we third down played it out, and that was fairly balanced. But it'd be good to see the film and see the guys that made plays. I think this was a good week to kind of grind through it. In particular, just with the extra practice, we the guys aren't necessarily used to practicing the 4 times like we did, but they got out here and got some good work in, and like the continued growth that this team is making, and the guys that I spoke to a little bit earlier in the week, still like to see that linebacker group continue to grow, or they are continuing to grow. McCade's continue to flash, and as you look at the secondary, we got Drew transitioned to free safety. Tyson Potter's back after being slowed down with a little bit of a hamstring. Those guys are certainly battling it out. Blake Stillwell's been on the side, and that's a really important position for us. A guy like Jeff Manning's back in town, so seeing Jeff reminds you we got to replace him. Ty Okada's back in town this week. Reminds you that we got to replace him, and like Lavelle and Caden Dollar really going at it at that nickel spot. So strides on defense, offense. I think continue to see the competition up front, and that's what that's where it starts for us, and like the progress that they're making. So it's not all kinds of things to measure, I guess. Tangibly. In a week we'll get a scrimmage next week, but like where we're heading.
You kind of mentioned earlier this week. You mentioned at the top there, the extra practice this week. What do you think of the energy level of your guys through the extra practice?
Yeah, good. I think anytime you change the routine, you got to have guys at the top, leadership wise, that just understand that's part of the deal. If we have to adjust, we need to figure it out and do it. And I thought the guys, went with the plan, and yeah, the energy piece for week 2, I think was really good. In fact, I think today was, if I had to categorize our first 6 practices, today was our best. Maybe it was because the sun was shining a little bit when we got out there, but I think our guys understand how important each one of these days are, and that starts, from the leadership of our older guys, the guys that have been through it and know that you can't ride that wave of being up and down and just come out here and attack each day, and we're doing that.
You mentioned Ty and Jeff back in town. I think I saw Cal earlier. What's it like to see those guys back here?
Yeah, it's exciting. The guys that will be going through that pro day on Wednesday. It doesn't encompass the whole senior group, but a lot of them have been away from here, away from each other for a while. So that's the neat thing. We'll get them all together, not only on Wednesday, but then also on Friday, and have a dinner. And those guys don't realize that these times together are going to become more and more infrequent. So really enjoy when they're back together, and really, try to get them back to Bozeman, to MSU as much as possible.
Another guy in the secondary, John Johnson, you guys just added. Anything else you want to say that you didn't mention in the release about him?
Well, we're really excited. I know getting multiple corners was something that we wanted to do in this class. Our initial intention was multiple high school guys. We signed Taden Gray, who we anticipate will play at corner. We didn't end up stretching to sign another guy before signing day, and then it kind of shifted just to that kind of that best available mode, and John became that kind of mid to late February. We had him in for a visit. Beyond what he's done at the junior college level, one thing I didn't speak of, he comes from Bosco, one of the better programs in the country, and he was a guy that physically matured late, played receiver, so made this transition to junior college, continued to grow. Got moved over to the defensive side, and really was very impressive. His film was very impressive, just who he is as a person. I think a large part is his ability, but then the program, the high school program he comes from, um, one that he's got a great foundation. So yeah, really excited to add John here this summer and get him in here competing.
Is Taco Dowler making any sort of strides this season? It seems like he's put on some weight. He looks a little bigger.
Yep. Yeah, Taco, obviously played a critical role special teams wise last year. His role on offense grew throughout the season, and that's the what we anticipate for this next year is finding more ways to get the ball in his hands. And one thing that he was more than capable of was blocking. We got a block on the perimeter last year. We have to block a lot on the perimeter as our receivers, and he did a great job of that last year. So, trying to get him on the field more and more is what we aim to do, and he's showing already in spring ball, newfound strength levels. Carrying himself at a little heavier weight, but still moving just as well. So, yeah, Taco's going to be a big-time playmaker for us, on the special teams side. But then we look to get him more and more integrated on offense.
What about Lynch left? Are you trying to get him involved anymore this year?
Well, I think you look at our tight end position. We returned Snell and Pickering. I think two of the best tight ends in our league. So where's the room for the next guy? We lost R.J. Fitzgerald in that mix. So guys like Ryan Lynch, Elijah Reynolds, Ryan Lonergan are all fighting for that remaining role. Derek and Trayton are going to do a lot of things for us. And ideally we're playing 3 and 4 guys in that out of that room. And Ryland's certainly one of the guys battling for that, whether that's being an on-the-ball guy or a guy that can play a handful of plays each game. I think that's the track that he's on.
You guys lost obviously a big talent running back last year. So what is kind of like the depth, or is it going to be obviously you're not making decisions in spring ball, but what does that running back room look like? Is it going to be kind of running back by committee, or is there anybody standing out so far?
Well, I think at running back for us, in an ideal world, the 21 version of running one guy almost singularly is not what we want. You want a room that's got comparable guys so you can spread the wealth. You want high productivity at the same time. And we worked through that last year between injuries and guys developing, found a way to run the ball very effectively, probably, I'd say a little bit too much with our quarterbacks at the same time. So as we head into next year, I think Elijah Elliott is where I would start. He came a long ways last fall, was playing his best ball at the tail end of the year, and I think he's had a really good offseason. I think he's got a chance to continue to be a guy that's find the ball in his hands. And Jared White flashed in the game and was going to be starting his second game of his college career, and then he got hurt on his one of his very first carries. And Jared's still coming back, I think, from that injury, but is getting reps now and showing continued improvement. Garrett Kuhn, I think, is a guy that's very reliable for us, and beyond reliable, I think he's continuing to find a role that commands reps on the field. So those 3 guys played a lot, and then Marquis Johnson is the one that was kind of in between running back, receiver. He had the big game running back wise against Cal Poly, so I think we'll continue to find ways to get him. So, by that statement right there, I named all 4 of those guys. I think it would be a mix of guys right now. Kagan Williams is unfortunately for us, is a guy we haven't seen on the game field. We haven't had practice yet. And for him, we're wading through this time, and ultimately we got to get out of spring with determination on what his future is going to be. Then we bring in some really good freshmen. So I think we have plenty of capable guys. I don't think it's clearly going to be one guy. And like I said at the beginning of the statement, I think that's the world we don't really want to be in. And our quarterbacks are certainly going to carry it. Our receivers are going to carry it. So we're going to find the best way we can to run the ball. And the running backs need to be a bigger part of that, though, as we begin the fall.
Lane's still recovering too.
Yeah, Lane's still recovering. Yeah, I'm going through the guys I'm seeing carrying the ball. Yes, Lane is recovering. Lane's going to be, when we get really to May, I think Lane's going to be full go. So for him, it's been a bumpy road in my time here. It's kind of been one thing after the other, but nothing that's added on itself. No injuries that have been like sometimes you get a knee and you never recover from that. He's done nothing like that. It's been a bunch of different things, and we just hope for good fortune with him because Lane, obviously last year proved to be a very capable back, and he's in the mix too.
I get the coaches clinic going on out there. So how was that having high school coaches here? Did that go today?
It went real well. We had 6 high school speakers yesterday. Coach Mike Kramer came back and spoke to the group last night, and then our coaches kind of today, both in the meeting room and on the field of drills. So really appreciate the high school coaches that attended. It was well attended. Certainly hope that they walked away with some knowledge, and we want to continue to grow the game of football. That's the purpose of doing the clinic, and like I said, really appreciate the coaches that showed up.